Hi, welcome to your weekend love reading. I was going to pull some cards for each sign, but it is getting late and it's only the weekend, so I'm just going to do this kind of quickly and try to or just see what the weekend has in store for all you out there. The highest and greatest good, which I thought we'd start with the Angel Oracle. Whoa. Okay. Let go of control issues. Allow the situation to unfold naturally. Yeah, I think there's something to be said about letting things unfold naturally and also like not being complacent, like not being just expecting things to come to you or just expecting because you want it to happen that it's going to happen. Like you still have to make some sort of effort, but like letting a situation unfold naturally, not trying to force things, just sort of seeing where they go and like keep things in check or something. I'll pull a couple others. New love is on the bottom. So a new person has stirred your romantic interest. So let's pull one more. Calling in your soulmate. Your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations help bring you together. So, like letting go of control issues and calling in your soulmates, like kind of a little bit opposites, like action and just also being more receptive. So maybe there just is, or there needs to be, or you want there to be a good balance between how much you put into something and also how much you get back and how much like, I think you get what I'm trying to say, but like just the balance of letting things kind of unfold, like it says, and also going after what you want. It's striking that right balance, I think. Calling in your soulmate, and unrequited love is on the bottom. I've said this before. He looks like he just caught her off guard. Like, maybe he thinks it's unrequited love and she's just surprised. That's happened to me before. Like, completely out of the blue, like someone just, old roommate one time, like, I was like on my way back to my room and he just like stopped me and was like, told me that he loved me. I was totally like not expecting that, and I was like going to do something, so I was kind of like, it was in the right, time or what. And not that there's always necessarily right time for things, but like I was totally caught off guard, so I just kind of was like, didn't say anything, and he took it really personally, and which is kind of understandable, but like at the same, I mean, we ended up dating, so this is a long time ago, but like, but he was upset, so like, but at the same time, I was just really caught off guard. I didn't see that coming at all and had no idea. And, so it just like making sure, again, with that like balance, a situation that is, and not taking things too personally. I mean, I guess it's probably hard to like, the new love and unrequited love, sometimes maybe to gauge, but when is the right time to say something like that, or to just make a move, or tell someone you have feelings for them, but you know I don't know, maybe just letting go of those kinds of worries, those kinds of, like it says, control issues, like when you should do something and how you should do something, like all these things, and maybe you just need to like go with it and just see what happens, or kind of just like sort of trust in the fact that like if it's meant to be, like, you know, things will kind of align. And you know, me and that guy were never, we weren't meant, you know what I mean? It wasn't, and things were always off. Timing was always off, and things like that always happen. So like, yeah, I think it's like not so much about like how you go about doing something, or how you, I think it's just sort of trusting that if it's right, you don't have to worry so much with the all the being on top of everything, that especially if it's like a partner, you know, like a soulmate type situation, like they're going to, you know, meet you halfway with what you're doing. You don't have to like control the whole situation. So no, that's just my 2 cents. But that was just on the bottom, so maybe this is in the past. And it actually reminds me of, I think it was in the New York Times, like someone wrote about how she was tired of being every Jewish man's rebellion. This guy was Jewish, and like, so again, it was like, he like professed his love to me, and then, and we're still friends. Like, it's, you know, not close friends, but like we're friends, we're fine. So it's, you know, and he couldn't, even when I finally did give in and said, okay, I'll try. If, you know, things are fine for like a month or something, but then he was like, if I want to, like, I can't marry you because you're not Jewish. And he was from a very religious Jewish background. And I'm like, so what was this? You know, that kind of thing. And it kind of maybe overlaps a little bit with the general reading towards the end, where it's kind of like you let your guard down or something, and only to not have like that, you know, net or something. And I mean, I'm not Jewish, so I didn't, you know, I'm like, well, so if it's just about title or something, you know, like, and this is really going somewhere, like, I would consider converting, like, you know, it's just doesn't, you know, spirituality is an inward thing for me. He's like, it really wouldn't matter. They will never accept you. So that was the end of that. So I guess just making sure that like everyone's on the same page or something like that too, especially if you're trying to like look for someone who is going to be like some sort of, or you're with someone that could be some sort of life partner, and just trying to like not I don't know, we'll see what else comes out. I wanted to pull one more, not from with the bottom card. Codependency, addictions are affecting your romantic life. So, free yourself. So maybe those, again, mix and match these cards too, and see if one or all apply to you. But it's time to take back control of your life. So again, yeah, must be different people, like, let go control issues, take back control of your life. I just want to say, like, things are maybe, especially if you're in a relationship, like, maybe things are just, like, out of whack, or out of sync, or out of balance. Like, I keep picturing, like, a couple that has, like, one person usually, like, is more dominant and takes, like, the lead, and, like, you know, kind of runs things, or, like, makes a lot of decisions, and the other person not being a little bit more, you know, maybe they are feeling like they need to free themselves to some degree if the person they're with is in control. I don't know if this is making sense. I'm just kind of like rambling, but and I kind of just see these people like having already like switched somehow like dynamics in the relationship, and like things are like out of whack or something. Like I don't know. But maybe it's a good like change in perspective too. Last unicorn for yourself. So what restrictions or what do you have that's keeping you back from what it is you really want? And what, yeah, so, I don't know, attraction, just like went on a tangent telling you about my, anyways, that's just a little intro. Let's pull from the erotic. Do people need to know advice for the weekend? Maybe you just need to get out, free yourself, get out, and get out of your old routine. Even routines can be, addictive and stifling sometimes. Not always, but sometimes, if you never let yourself get out of that. So let loose. So maybe, just see how it applies to you in your context. Let's see, what else do people need to know for the weekend? What is to be known? Sixes have been coming up so much. Six of air, Mercury in Aquarius. So, talking about the future too. Yeah, I've realized looking back at some of the old videos that, especially when I was asking about things having to do with the present, at least I have a feeling that had more to do with like the far future. I think I asked some questions about like Russia and things like that, and I don't know. Anyways, I kind of think that it was talking about the First Lady and not this First Lady. I don't know, but something with I think it's like a far heads up or something. Anyways, total side note, that was from like a reading in the summer studio. Anyways, yeah, so maybe something's bigger than life, larger than life. Fantasy, dream, yeah, so maybe this is your fantasy. Maybe this is what you're hoping for. Six of air usually means like going short distances and some travel, sometimes overseas, just, but sometimes traveling with a group, and just moving into smoother waters. I don't know how this applies to this card, but whatever it means to you. And it's also walking a thin line too, or tightrope kind of situation, wanting to maintain that balance. Also just like, thinking about the future, thinking about, again, what it is you want, and maybe that's where you need to let go of control issues and not be so like picky or something like that. Just, I don't know what your situation is, but whatever you find to be your hang up, I guess. I don't know the right word, but maybe that's where you need to let go of control issues. It's the Queen of Water. Came up reverse, so sometimes, and I don't mean for this to happen, but sometimes the cards pop out just almost like in reflection of what I am talking about, and so I think that's why this popped out reverse in reference to what I'm talking about, feelings and Queen of Water, again, water sign or just someone who embodies that. Comfortable in the rain, naked, just very one with nature. But it talks about movement and just moving from one place to another and people being on board. It's also about like freeing yourself from baggage, past relationship baggage, and not carrying that with you into the next relationship in your life, and just letting go. And that's probably what that is somewhat talking about too, letting go, control issues, and freeing yourself. Since everything is always going to be new with each person, to not, act out of fear of, past relationship issues or whatever it was, like we all have them. So it's like just not being more cognizant and making sure you don't bring up those things so much, because every new person is a new person, and you can't, to let things unfold naturally and see how they react in a situation, and not expect that they're going to necessarily react the same way as maybe your past experiences, or, again, it's that fine line though, because it's like learning from your experiences, but also not acting out of fear from them as well, not bringing up old things that, it's just like not looking back, freeing yourself from all the things in your mind that take up space, that kind of bog you down and maybe interfere or influence your relationship, or how you are in a relationship or dating or whoever. But so it's also just being intuitive and knowing how you feel about something, and like listening to yourself, and knowing how someone really truly makes you feel, and not just like going on, maybe some sort of projected image of who you think they are, like stripped down and a little bit vulnerable, but also, you can see them in their whole, so letting that, letting it get to that where it's not some fake projection of what you want, of what you're hoping for, your ideal, what you think they are, but just really getting to the essence, or the emotion, who someone maybe really is and how they actually feel. Maybe you just need to ask someone how they feel, like something very simple, like, how does this make you feel? Because we do have swords here, and it's about communication, talking about emotions, talking about how, what you're going through maybe, or what you've been through, and maybe you just need to like get something off your chest too, like you're free of all the, I imagine her carrying like lots of bags and like layers and clothing and stuff like that, and like just stripping down from all of that, and starting fresh, starting new, total blank slate. Like if you woke up tomorrow and you had no knowledge of all of the bad memories or anything, had been erased, and today was complete blank slate. Like there was nothing holding you back, nothing from the past, no feelings of disappointment, no feelings of, and this can expand beyond relationships, but like, and dating, and but if you woke up tomorrow and there was just only that sense of complete possibility, what would you do with that? And it's not putting caps on what you think is possible either. It's letting that stay open, stay open. Maybe you're going to do something. You're going somewhere. You're going to her. Justice on the bottom. 8 or 11 or 8 here. Yeah, I think there comes a point when you can only like speculate so much. You can only imagine or project or whatever so much, and look into things, and sometimes you just have to experience that. You have to just break the ice and go talk to them, or open up dialogue, conversation, and get the ball rolling, because going to, like, if you're wondering about someone, maybe just go to the source and ask them. So anything else from this deck? Seven of Fire. So this is, I feel like, having a lot of options and a lot of attention and a lot of tender loving cares. Mars and Leo. 7 of Wands. Maybe the 7th house, though, is also important, especially if for relationships, any type of relationship. It's not the deepest kind of as it can apply to even work relationships, but like colleagues and things like that. But it's how you interact with the others, and usually it's like taking the higher road, having to handle a lot, multitask, put out lots of different fires. Maybe you feel a little bit threatened. Maybe there are lots of people vying for the attention of whoever it is that you're interested in, or vice versa. And I mean, especially if you have an imagination can just run wild with like thoughts of what's going on. So it's just kind of like I feel like there's just like this mess of like, it's just like a jumble of limbs and people. So like, again, it's just kind of like even though she looks a little bit sad here, but it's more so like her face is just shadowed over. You can't really see an expression. So but I just feel like it's like just getting rid of all the clutter, either in your mind or even like external distractions if you need to, and or just getting something off your chest so that those things can evaporate and you can move forward. Think of fresh rain and spring and just sort of being free and open. And I always forget when I'm doing things for like a weekend and start talking about all these other things, but yeah, so maybe it's gonna rain this weekend. Maybe there has something to do with like hospital type thing. Maybe there's some other thing going on, this kind of situation for you. Maybe it's more of an fantasy situation, or just like getting together with friends, I guess. Could be a more mundane way of looking at that. Anything else in this deck? Why is it so dark in here? Anything else for the weekend? The Nine of Water. So this came up for the last reading I did last Sunday. It's the genie in the bottle. And Jupiter in Pisces. So, just, she looks free. She looks free and open. So, maybe you get your wish granted, feeling pretty happy and satisfied with whatever you have maybe come across, or what you're feeling, or some sort of desire, fantasy thing. Whatever it is, this is the wish card, and so you can interpret this however you want. So in Pisces, maybe the Queen of Water, Pisces. It's being flexible too, because Pisces is a mutable sign, so maybe stretching, so just being flexible with what your plans maybe. So lots of just openness and so maybe you just need to be a bit more open and free yourself of anything going on in your mind that's just keeping you kind of in your head. Maybe you need to open up and communicate too, especially if you're with someone, you communicate what you want, what you need, what you like. And there's the moon, 18. So and Pisces is ruled by the moon, so again, maybe it's been very intuitive, very just Pisces is a lot of mystery and just sensitivity and empathy, I think, too, and just, what am I trying to say? I don't know, but so maybe you're just also, some of you might be feeling very emotional towards someone, or very in tune with someone, you're on the same sort of wavelength, that you can see things going in a direction that's positive, usually, because it's a long road usually here, but not in this picture, but maybe some sort of cathedral also, or what's that movie? But anyways, so maybe you're seeing your reflection in something also. Maybe you see your reflection in someone. Never mind. But yeah, so the moon, though, paying attention to, again, how something makes you feel, and maybe moon signs are important for you. So wish upon a moon star, but meeting someone like halfway between you, because usually they're meeting, and maybe like you're just like really in your head, thinking about something, whether it's, good or bad. Maybe you're projecting a little bit, or someone else is projecting, watching something on the big screen, IMAX. Yeah, so, but at the end of the day, it's exactly what you wanted. So, one more card, and then we'll move on to the last deck. Okay, this is the sun that just flew out. I've seen this imagery in a lot of the videos, playlists, old and new. So I always think of Batgirl, Bat, but soaring wings. Looks like she lost them here, but maybe she gets them back. Maybe this is just you, the sun, and expression. We have the sun and the moon, so good, positive self-expression. It's your midpoint, maybe. That it talks about the happy medium between your sun and moon energies, and also like what you look for in a partner too sometimes, and just things like that. So night and day, maybe someone is like night and day, or just maybe they have a lot of different sides to themselves, and like this could also, like, I kind of just imagined like almost like a time lapse or something, like one woman but all these different positions. So you're just above the clouds. Again, maybe you're traveling to, like, flying somewhere. But the sun's a great card. It's just like things just kind of going your way, and feeling like this, like you're above the clouds. Yeah, and so also think of her wings remind me of an umbrella, and we do have a rain card here, so maybe it might rain. Don't forget an umbrella. Yeah, so sun, moon, and Nine of Pentacles on the bottom. Someone's like looking in on something or trying to figure something out, but it's about lifestyle too, and grace, longevity, independence. So the sun is about individuality and independence. So, and we had the codependency there before. So again, it's like striking a good balance, because no one's, no man's an island, but no one to ask for help, but rely on others, but still be able to maintain yourself, your individuality, even, in a relationship. So maybe it's also talking about that a little bit too, and just maybe knowing yourself more, and knowing your things that elate you and that you want, maybe just making a point to go after them this weekend. It's like dry in here. Okay. from the, what is this? The Tarot Sexual Magic. More cards for the weekend for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Ten of Pentacles. So I'll read from, I found the book, I'll read from the book, but Ten of Pentacles is a great weekend. It's just, people coming together, it's different, again, kind of along the lines of the Nine of Pentacles, but usually with someone. It can talk about just yourself, but here he looks like he is just totally admiring her, and she looks like she's in her own, just enjoying that rose. I thought it was like a window ceiling. That's a mirror. So, again, with reflection and the moon here, maybe that's something you like, But she's also, really just open and looks very carefree, kind of like the Nine of Pentacles. So maybe this is what this guy, makes her feel like, or how they are together. But 10 is the completion of something. It's a tweener. It's, end, beginning. And it's maybe there's something having to do with, I don't want to say, family, but, not with these cards. Maybe family members introducing you to someone or something like that. I'll pull some cards and read from the book. And it's split at the Seven of Wands again. So it's thought of wearing things that make you feel sexy, backless, more subtle sexiness also, not so overt. I remember talking about her clothes, but yeah, I'll read from, I think this came up before, actually. High Priestess on the bottom. This one to come out too. The Two of Pentacles. Another kind of he really likes her back, he's really into it. So she, I just thought of Mad Men. She kind of looks like, what's her name? Again, in all these cards, he just looks like he's kind of admiring her. So, again, well, I kind of feel like the Erotica tarot deck is more for people that are just not looking for anything serious usually, but cross-reference, but in all of these cards, looks like there's a lot of really good omens. He looks like he's just very, I keep saying, admiring her and just enjoying her, whatever he's enjoying about her. Let's see, what else? Thing. These came up from the last one. I'm going to shuffle again. Such a superstitious, I guess. I shuffled twice. It's the High Priestess and two, I guess it's the cards in order or something, how they're supposed to come out. So there anything else for this weekend? Sometimes just go like, whoa, like that. This is the Chariot, which came out for the general reading too. So again, it's my important. The Hierophant and the King of Pentacles. Who did this come out for earlier? I don't know. And since these all have different meanings from the regular tarot, I'm just gonna have to read from. But like, I think. He's got like a little whip. There's like two people here. Chariot. Be a car. This almost looks more like the traditional imagery with two people down here. Two. Yeah, I'm gonna read from that. And King of Pentacles could just be a person. Let's see. Chariot. This is going to be so hard to read. It's tiny, like fine print. Chariot, conquest. The scepter of command. To conquer a rival, you must change tactics and perspective. Faking a retreat and then staging a forceful surprise attack. Strategy. And, oh, now I see the two bolt in the background. The element of surprise, introducing some surprise into your weekend. Let's see. So, two Pentacles. Embarrassment. Oh no, didn't look like a bad card. The magic of the verbena. Embarrassment, uncertainty, unease, and the fear of getting involved must be overcome. So that kind of speaks to what we were talking about before, not letting fears dictate how or why you make a decision, but I guess taking everything into consideration, having as much information as you can. Best if you can talk to the person. Maybe you're just uncertain about things, where they're going with the moon, uneasy, worried about getting involved. I don't know. Maybe trying to juggle things too, and wondering if you have enough time or something like that. To connect the dots, but I mean, I think if you're, starting out on something or just doing something for the first time or something that's never been done before, but it's probably not going to happen not this weekend, but you never know. Or just, in terms of romance, like just making the first move, there's always that sense of uncertainty of, but keep wanting to say something, and so I feel like it's important, but also like taking into consideration that like maybe it's the person you're dealing with too that's not to like blame others, but like they may be doing something that makes you feel uneasy or uncertain of where you stand or something like that. So again, maybe it's just like talking. Maybe it's just like making sure that reassuring someone too, who is in maybe a vulnerable situation. So like reassuring them of your affection too. Maybe there's things that you're unaware of that that are brought to light later that make you feel like a bit foolish. Another boyfriend I had, examples, but like we dated in college and a college sweetheart, and had I stayed in Texas, I'd probably be married to him right now. But good thing I'm not, because I mean, we got back together like a few years into me living in New York, and he told me then later on that like on all these like business trips that he'd go on, like that he would that he'd like cheat on me like 5 times, and great, you know. Why am I supposed to do that now? You know, it's like you almost feel sorry for yourself or sorry for the person, that version of yourself from like 2 years ago or something like that. But it's not in the present, so it's kind of like a weird, what do you do with that now? Like, am I supposed to trust you now kind of thing? Or am I glad that you told me? Like, or was it just selfish of you to tell me because it has no like real, if you don't plan to do it again, like, does it have any sort of bearing on now going forward? Like, it's just to clear your own conscience? Like, you know, and in that case, and it's kind of selfish, but there's something to be said about total honesty. So I don't know, again, it's like that, but it's kind of, again, like total honesty, like about you, someone cheating, you know what I mean? Like, so you can't really use that, but like, I don't know. I think it's just like a fine line of just some, you know, I don't know, something, because I don't feel like it's like you did something stupid, or like, I don't feel like it's like such an embarrassment in that sense. I feel like it's more of like a just like an afterthought, or some, you know, like a kind of like same thing, like it's happens after, or you find out about it later, that then you feel silly or something, and unsure of things. It changes your perspective. Maybe maybe this happened in the past too, so it could be something that's affecting you. You just like, again, realize that like not everyone's going to cheat. Not everyone's like, you know, selfish. Not everyone is yeah. So I don't know. You just kind of have to like be able to let that go if there is something like that that's keeping you from getting involved. 7 of Wands. This is whispering. The magic of the lizard. Doubts and suspicions dissolve in the sunlight. Clarity illuminates feelings and situations. So, and the sun and moon came up before, so just bringing light to a situation, opening up, you know, depending on your relationship and all that, like maybe just like laying it all on the table, but other people might need to like keep a few things. Again, it's hard to give a reading for such a general group of people that I don't know who's watching. So, whispering is like a little whisper, and all of those kinds of senses, like someone whispers in your ear and kind of like, you know, the hot breath and like the closeness, and it's kind of like those almost like innocent type things, but can be even sexier than, full on, you know, this, or, so maybe making a point to be more like touchy feely, like flirtatious, also like ways like that to make someone feel special or attended to, and just all those different ways of communicating, so that any unease or confusion is, like it says, dissolved and brought to light once you are expressing yourself the way that you best express yourself, and in a manner that speaks to the person that you're with or the person you're dating. Clarity. So maybe you just need clarity, like I said before, there's so much like kind of jumbleness, and the moon, it's romantic, but it can also shadow things over. And so, yeah, maybe you just need clarity. You just need to figure out a way to get that clarity. What do you need to do to get that clarity? And then start there. And the 10 of Pentacles. That's Swords. Pentacles, here we go. 10, okay. Desire. The magic of the mirror. So mirrors are important, and maybe reflections, just, general moon reflections. Mirror. Magic of the mirror. Vanity is the soul of love. You must love yourself to let yourself be loved, and you must love yourself before you can love another. So, yeah, the importance of like a healthy dose of self-love and understanding yourself, being patient with yourself, self-love, so then you can know how to best give that to someone else. But also, like I also like kind of dissect the words and things that come through in these readings. It could be like something like a vanity, furniture, a piece of furniture that is important to someone because their like grandmother gave it to them, and like, they're going to like pass down their kid, so things speak to people on different levels. But yeah, so did I read? But desire, and also maybe the person you're with helps you to, in that 7th house video, like talking about how your partner can, show you different sides of yourself that are you're not as aware of, or are your shadow side, and kind of like the moon, like, or are really great qualities, traits about you that you tend to overlook because, you don't see them, but maybe someone else shows them to you and brings some clarity, light also. I mean, it's not like you hit a limit and you're like, okay, now I have enough self-love for the rest of my life. Like, you're always learning about yourself, you're always growing, developing, and hopefully if you're in a relationship, hopefully you're growing together, and they also, as do you, help bring out the best in them and encourage those things, and you know, maybe the person you're with also just like makes you feel really great about yourself too. And but yeah, I would agree, like loving yourself so that you can fully love someone else is a good place to start too, if that's something that you're wondering about this weekend. Like maybe that's something that you need to take some time thinking about, or it could also just be encouraging you to help someone else feel good about themselves too, because we all get into like pits, and sometimes it's something as simple as like a kind word, and like something having to do with the sun, like just illuminating, breaking you out of that sort of cloudiness maybe, or maybe you're feeling like a little sorry for yourself or something like that, or just not like, you can't find something to wear and you just don't feel like, you look good when you go out or something. Like maybe this is saying or encouraging the people around you or you to help someone else, and just in a small way to just, lift them up and make them feel sexy, good, comfortable. And reflect back to them the positive parts of themselves. So yeah. 7 is again, so about partnerships. So how you approach partnerships, how much you give in partnerships, what you're looking for, and clearing away any doubt or uncertainty, getting on the same page with someone, clearly communicating and talking, and also maybe some fun for you. Hanging out with friends. Did I read that one? I was showing you the seven of wands. Too many cards out. It's getting late. 10 of Pentacles. So yeah, that was for that. And like I said, like he just kind of is admiring her. So, and she looks so comfortable with herself. So again, maybe you're just with someone, or you're looking for someone who just makes you feel comfortable with yourself, and maybe this weekend you'll meet them if you are yourself. So anyways, I hope this was helpful. You enjoyed the reading, and it wasn't really any shorter. Get me talking, and so anyways, yeah, so have a great weekend, and check out the playlist and all of that when you have a chance.